Welcome to Critical Thinking. Today's subject matter is critical thinking. I'm going to briefly explain it to you. You need to do a little bit more research on it yourself. They're just beginning to teach this in colleges over the past 25, 30 years because they weren't teaching critical thinking. So I'm going to give you a brief summary of what that means and an example of how it's applied and do further research so you're able to put it in practice yourself. Critical thinking means taking nothing for granted and refers to a process of thoughtfully analyzing and probing the questions, statements, and arguments of others. It means examining the definitions of terms, examining the premises or assumptions behind arguments, and scrutinizing the logic with which arguments are developed. Critical thinking skills provide the key not only to a college education, but also to a lifetime of self-education. We're going to start off by talking about the types of reasoning. Now, I may give words that you may not know the definition of, but you better have your dictionaries and learn how to look up words. I keep stressing that because it's important. Now, let's do with the next part of it, types of reasoning. Okay, I've been playing around with an example of reasoning. So, reasoning is the transforming of information to reach conclusions. We're now getting ready to consider two kinds of reasoning I'm going to talk briefly about. And that's deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. You can go to the internet, do your encyclopedias or dictionaries, of course, but do as much research as you possibly can so you will understand what deductive reasoning is and inductive reasoning. Now, you learn about this in college now. Psychology, it's usually in the psychology books. And you can go and look in the libraries and study yourself on inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. They also have puzzles that are logic puzzles where you will have to use reasoning to solve the problem of the puzzle. But anyway, do your research because you're going to have to learn how to practice, in particular, deductive reasoning. Okay, let's see. What is deductive reasoning? Deductive reasoning is a form of reasoning in which the conclusion must be true if the premises are true. Now, consider this example that they usually give us in our psychology books, and then we're supposed to take it further. So I'm going to do the same thing to you as they did to me in college. Now, this is what is considered the classic 3-sentence argument. Okay? It's classic. They use this quite often in psychology classes. They get more complicated, but this is the simple form of it right now. Okay, there are 3-sentence arguments. Number 1, all persons are mortal. Mortal. All persons are mortal. Number 2, Socrates is a person. Number 3, therefore Socrates is mortal. That's how they teach you these things. Now, how they look at it, okay, sentence 1 and 3 in this argument are called the premises. Premises provide the following assumptions or basic information that allows people to draw conclusions. Sentence 3 is the conclusion. In this example, sentence 1 makes a statement about a category, persons. Sentence 2 assigns an individual, Socrates, to the category of persons. Sentence 3 concludes that what is true of category, persons, is true for the matter of category, Socrates. The conclusion, sentence 3, is said to be deducted, is deduced from the premises. The conclusion about Socrates is true if the premises are true. Now, there are steps for you to take. I have 5 of them that to give you an idea, but I'm not going to go through the meaning of them all. You can. Number 1, you have to learn how to evaluate the way we handle situations, or the way you handle situations, so that we can correctly correct yours or someone else's behavior in the future. You got to define the problems clearly, gathering the proper information, analyzing success strategies, and then you make good decisions. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that because I'm seeing a lot of people that are doing things and they couldn't have possibly been thinking clearly. You know, they weren't thinking clearly. They thought that they were, but they weren't. So, I'll be back with some more of this later. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. Until we meet again, I love you.